because I think as college students, from the moment you got on your campuses, you guys are building a legacy. That legacy is comprised of the things that you're doing in terms of in the classroom, things that you're interacting with each other, the faculty and staff at your schools, and especially all the things that you do on your campuses. All those actions kind of build like a body of work, very similar to a resume. And that resume sticks with you, not only through your college experience, but especially kicks into play once you graduate. And that's really kind of the goal of today, is to share with you how the things that I took advantage of, that each of you are also entitled to, can really impact and help you make a successful transition post-college. So we'll talk about all that fun. All right, so we got to cover that. All right, so to give you a little bit of background on myself, I graduated from Brockport in 2009. I was the first one in my family to go off to college, so I had no idea what to expect when I went to Brockport. It ended up becoming my home away from home. I never thought that I would become the president of my own club. I was the president of the Brockport Public Relations Club. Any PR majors in the house? All right. Crickets, there we go. And I definitely didn't think that I would, as a student, get to study abroad. I got to study abroad in Ghana, and I'll talk about how that all kind of plays into your experience as well. And I definitely did not think that my first professional job, when I graduated from Brockport at 22 years old, was going to be working at the college. My first job was, I was actually a recruiter. I used to actually live in New York City for like 3 months in the fall and talk to high school students about college. And we're talking about what it was like being an athlete at Brockport, what it was like living on campus, what it was like being a communication business major. That was my job. That wasn't even work, you guys. That was so much fun. And then last year, I was blessed with my second opportunity at Brockport, where I thought being admissions going to be any more fun. My new job is now as a study abroad advisor, where my job is to connect students to an international experience. In the last 10 months, I have been to Beijing, China, London, England. I just got back from Africa. I've been to Seattle. I've been to San Diego, Tennessee, Texas, all these places for work, So when I look back on all of it, the one constant is that everything is because of my directly related to my involvement as a student. All of those things led to my current success in those opportunities. So my job today is to share with you how you can maximize the same opportunities that college provides you with, so that truly when you graduate, that is when all the fun will begin for you all. How many of you are juniors and seniors? Oh, nice. All right, we got a little mix here. Well, let me ask you all in general. How many of you are nervous about the future after graduation? Okay. All right. Because I know you guys hear everything on the news, the job market, the economy, all that good stuff. My thing is this, especially as leaders, you are all going to face challenges in adversity. I've had friends of mine who had an intern for a year before they got their job. I've had friends of mine who had, they graduated from college, so they were independent, but they ended up having to call mom and dad as roommates. So they ended up graduating and still having roommates. At the end of the day, it's okay. I don't want you guys to be discouraged by what you hear on television, because like I said, you're going to face challenges. You are going to face adversity. Your success, though, is going to be built upon how you handle those challenges and how you handle that adversity. So don't be discouraged when you hear things about the economy and the job market and competition. Instead of letting it scare you, let it serve as a heads up to prepare yourself for the future going forward. Because, there's no crystal ball to predict the future, but you truly can create a successful tomorrow for yourselves by simply taking advantage of today's opportunity. We're going to talk about those opportunities. Because I think the formula for success is just preparation, because the opportunity is going to come. So it's all about preparation, and when your opportunity does come, you'll be able to hit it out of the park. All right? So, with that said, let me give you a little perspective of how we're going to navigate through this presentation, how I want you all to kind of view college. It's the same way I kind of viewed it. Because there's a million and one reasons of why we all come to college. I'm just going to start pointing at people. Why did you come to college?
Athletics.
Okay, all right, so some people come for sports, myself included. I came for wrestling. How about yourself?
I didn't know what I wanted to do and needed to explore options.
Got it. And also some people, did anyone just come because that's what their parents told them that was the next logical step? You graduate from high school, you go to college? All right, so there's a variety of reasons why we all go to college. But what it all comes down to is kind of what college is all about. And the best way I can describe it is thinking about college as a theme park. It's full of different rides or opportunities for you all to take advantage of. And since you pay admission to go there, you need to take advantage of all of them. Because think about it, some people go to college just for the academic experience. Let me get my degree, let me get out of here. Some people go to college for the social experience. They don't last long, but they have a good time. Right? I had friends of mine who were athletes. They just came just for athletics. You need to take advantage of all of it. Because trust me, if you maximize all the opportunities that college provides you with, on a leadership level, on a personal development level, on a social level, like I said earlier, your fun will truly begin once you graduate. Like, I have not worked a day since I graduated 4 years ago, you guys. That's how much fun I've gotten to have. And truly, all of you are in store for that type of fun as well, if you maximize your experience. So, college essentially provides you with access. And I kind of broke it down in an acronym that we'll go through today. So there's academic opportunities, career building opportunities, community service opportunities, enlightenment, social development, and also self-development opportunities. And so we'll talk about different ways that you're able to take advantage of these, but then also kind of give you, a little bit of my experience as well, sprinkled in there. So let's talk about academic opportunities, because generally speaking, a lot of students will just go to college to take the classes required for their major, their minor, and then get out of Dodge. I say, kind of put the brakes on it and look at college really as an opportunity, especially with the courses you take, as a way to, enhance your professional skills, but also your marketability. How many of you are not a fan of public speaking?
Not a fan?
Not a fan of it. That was me. I used to sit in front of the class, I used to say, I used to be, you know what I'm saying all the time. I mean, I was a disaster. Sophomore year, I took a public speaking class at Brockport. And that's a class in which it kind of changed everything for me. I learned how to pace myself, I learned about eye contact. Little did I know that that would become my job. Because of that one class, I ended up becoming a communication major. And like I said, I never had any idea that it would become a major component of my job. So I really encourage you all, take classes. If some of you know your writing ability is not strong, take a class in writing. Especially in today's world, social media is so important. So maybe you could take a class in, like, say, web design or something of that nature to kind of add that to your, your kind of professional portfolio. That's actually something that I did. I took a class in web design at Brockport where I learned how to make a website. And with this job at Study Abroad, it ended up being like kind of one of the requirements. Even though it was a simple class, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't remember how to do any of that stuff. Just saying that I know how to do it and that I've taken a class in it, hey, check that off. It's something that you can possibly do. Show of hands, how many of you are also thinking about going on to graduate school, law school? Okay. Now, to the credit of some of my friends who are also in law school, and some of my other friends who are in some professional programs, they kind of give like 3 skills that are essential for you to pretty much be successful, especially if you're looking into law school. What it comes down to is being able first to think well, critically, being able to write well, because you're going to learn a lot of master's degree programs. Your writing ability as an undergrad will not make the cut when you go into the graduate level. But then also being able to research well, which means being able to find resources for things outside of Wikipedia. If you can master these skills, critical thinking skills, you can gain easily by taking a class in logic. Are any of you involved in student government? Yeah. Oh, wow. You guys have to do a lot of critical thinking, especially with the problem solving that you have to do. Advanced writing skills. I took a class in advanced writing when I was a senior. And I used to get, my papers back all chalked up in red. And so when someone gets a bad grade, when the teacher hands it down and they just kind of, tuck it away, that was me. But that class was so vital to me because all of my written assignments that I ended up working on and having to, resubmit, I ended up putting in a portfolio for myself. So when I went into my first interview, showing them that I have this writing ability that I can write well, was something that honestly can help you kind of stand out when it comes to an employer. And of course, the researching skills. So if you can think critically, write well, and research well, grad school will be a breeze for you guys. All right. So NACE is a professional development organization in which they do a lot of trending of like employment trends and job trends. And they came up with their list of the top 5 qualities that employers look for. So does anyone want to take a crack at what number 1 is?
Communication.
Close. Close. Number 2.
The writing abilities.
No.
Adaptability.
No. But that's like number 5. Brockport, come on, represent here. Yes, who said it? Excellent. Teamwork. Yes, that's numero 1. All right. So the top 5 skills that employers tend to look for: teamwork skills and communication skills. Kind of go hand in hand, especially in the job market. You're going to be working with, in teams of diverse teams. So we're talking different genders, different races, different cultural backgrounds. So it's very important for you to be able to work effectively in teams, but also communicating. I always kind of describe communicating as, have you guys ever heard of, like, everyone has a love language? All right, I hope so. All right, if you haven't, Google it. They tend to say everyone has a love language. So some people you can really kind of connect with them on a material level. Some people you can connect with them on more of the touchy-feely. Some people it's more of the reinforcement of I love you. Communication is the same way. We all have a different communication style. So you have to be able to learn how to communicate effectively with others on a written level, on an interpersonal level, on a verbal level. So that kind of goes hand in hand. Decision-making and analytical skills all kind of play into that looking at problems, looking at situations, complex situations, and being able to figure out effective solutions for those. And then multitasking. In today's world, with a lot of organizations, they're doing more but with less resources. So if you can kind of become a jack of all trades effectively, that's a great way to make yourself an asset for an organization. So essentially with all these skills, the best part is you can develop them all on that theme park I like to call college. And we'll talk about it. But first, let me get a pulse of the room here. So how many of you are involved in student government again? Okay. How many RAs do we have in the house? Okay. Athletes? Okay, a few. All right, a few. I just want to know what sports.
Well, I ran cross country.
Okay. Did you retire?
And it just got really busy.
All right.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Baseball, hockey, cross country.
Nice. In college?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I thought 3-sport athletes were done in college.
Volleyball.
Okay. Good. Cool. Anyone else?
Yeah, baseball, cross country.
Okay.
Right.
With volleyball, just a quick story. I didn't know there were formations in volleyball until I played intramural volleyball in college. So, that's pretty cool to know. Let's see. Any of you involved in just clubs and organizations? Okay, well, besides what I already named. How about sororities and fraternities? Who am I missing? Anyone in like recreational service? Am I missing anyone there? Okay, school paper. School paper. Got it. Okay. Well, so then this is going to be easy to talk about because all of you are involved in organizations, so this really kind of goes without saying. It's all about looking at those roles that you kind of are fulfilling as not just a line item, but more of an opportunity for you to develop and hone your skills. For me, I was very fortunate. I was the president of the Brockport Public Relations Club. This was my Super Bowl team. We were the Club of the Year, 2008, 2009. But for me, this was like the best experience in terms of developing all those skills that we just talked about and we just shared with you. So I had to learn how to work effectively in a team. As you can see, a lot of my team was mostly female, so I had to, we had to work together. Also, another thing about our group was we were a mix of different, not majors, but I was a senior, a couple were junior, we had freshmen. So you have to learn how to, really work effectively with a team from different backgrounds. Additionally, we planned a lot of club and activities during that year. We actually held a celebrity charity basketball game with the Buffalo Sabres. So that kind of learned and taught me, how to be organized, how to manage a crisis, because actually one of the players unfortunately got hurt. So all of those experiences though that I gained from, just working with the club are things that I've been able to draw upon in my own job, and so really those opportunities for you as an organization or working as maybe for some of you as an actual club, what do you like to call it, club officer, it's a great learning experience for you going forward because that's always going to be something that you're going to be able to pull upon when you become a professional. Now, how many of you are involved in community service? Excellent. It's always been my belief that one of the greatest opportunities you have to maximizing your experience is really getting involved in the community by just simply giving back. I know that you all have an interest or a passion, and especially as college students, you guys have great resources at your disposal in terms of your student affairs departments to really make any vision you have a reality. And that's what I really think it's all about, is to not be afraid to, be a visionary, because this is the time, this is the place for you guys to do it. Don't be afraid to take challenges and to take risks, because you're going to learn from not only your successes, but also your failures. For myself, when I was a junior with the Organization for Students of African Descent, we were just actually talking about, we have Don McPherson, the Syracuse Hall of Fame quarterback. He did a presentation at Brockport about domestic violence. And what he said at the end of his presentation was, it's not a male issue, it's not a female issue, it's our issue. And that really kind of inspired me to say, well, wow, what can we do? So my club, we actually ended up brainstorming this whole Healthy Relationships Week, where our Res Life department, they allowed us to put bins in all of the res halls to collect toiletries and different things to donate to the shelter. We also had a cell phone drive, so local cell phone dealers would donate cell phones to us that they would then reprogram, and they would give to those at the shelter. We had students for $1 to make a hand, and we donated all that money, but we ended up making a whole entire collage of all the hands for those who were kind of showing their support for those that have been affected by domestic violence. And then to kind of cap it all off, we had a speaker come from Alternatives for Battered Women to talk about the different types of abuses, from the verbal to the physical and relationships. And our improv group, the Harlequins, actually ended up doing skits for us. What that taught me was like, wow, if you really have a vision for something, you can make it a reality. there's a certain type of confidence that you gain in yourself when you make things, kind of happen. When you have an idea and you kind of see it through happening. All right, we'll keep the party going. But, so I really challenge you guys to take advantage of, your visions for things, because college is a great training ground for you to, make them a reality. Now when I'm, kind of stuck with tasks, for example, of, planning receptions in my current job, or, they're gonna they sent me my first week to London, England. Man, I've never been on a train before, you know what I'm saying? But you learn how to conquer things, and you're like, well, hey, if I could, conquer, this situation or that situation I had as a student, the rest of the world would be, no challenge. Now, enlightenment by definition is the education you gain from understanding the spread of knowledge. You all pay to be enlightened every single day you go to school. My belief is that it should not begin and end there. Through college, you are going to be exposed to a lot of different people, a lot of intelligent people from a wide variety of backgrounds. And the benefit of those relationships that you develop going forward in your career is going to prove to be immeasurable. One of the great ways that you can enlighten yourself is simply by studying abroad. How many of you in here have studied abroad? Okay, keep your hands up. Where have you been?
Italy.
Very nice.
Poland.
Okay, cool.
China.
Nice. Beijing, and what part?
I went to 7 different cities.
Okay, wow. That is really awesome. Anyone else? Okay, I'll share a quick story about China at the end, but I think that studying abroad is a real golden opportunity for you to enlighten yourself and really expand your perspective. Like I said, I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to go to Africa, really open my eyes to the world. I grew up thinking that Africa was like the Lion King. I thought Ghana was in South Africa, it's in West Africa, but there's no dirt roads all over the place. Simba's not waiting for you when you get off the plane. It's nothing like that, you guys. It's very modernized. But growing up watching TV, all these different things kind of really distort your perception. We tend to live in a bubble here in the U.S. So going to all these places, it didn't open my eyes. It blew my eyes open to seeing that this world is full of so much life. There's so many amazing sights that you guys see, and you're not going to get that perspective from reading a book. You're not going to get that perspective from just surfing the web. You're not going to get that perspective for just being in class. You need to go outside and you need to see the world. There's a huge value in that also for you all, just in terms of your marketability. Like I said, I had no idea that this would be my job. This was one of the requirements for my position, was to have studied abroad. When you guys study abroad, an employer is going to view you as someone who's A, you're definitely not afraid of a challenge. B, you're not afraid to step outside your comfort zone, which we'll talk about your comfort zone in a minute. And then C, you're someone who's more globally and culturally aware. And that is something that can truly help you kind of stand out amongst all the competition, because only a small fraction of students do it. And one of the things I always like to tell students is this, is that you never hear anyone say that they regret going to college. But you hear people say what? That they wish they would have gone. Study abroad is the same way. Do you regret going to Italy? Do you regret going to Poland? And do you regret to go into all 7 cities of China? Exactly. Was there someone else who said they studied abroad in the deck? Or was it just you three? Okay. I don't regret going to Ghana. I know my students that went to New Zealand, that went to Zorbing, they don't regret going. So the one thing you hear students say though, when they become seniors or when they graduate, it's always, man, if there's one thing I wish I would have done, I wish I would have studied abroad. It's definitely an experience that you should take advantage of. It really kind of is something that opens your eyes. And there's a certain type of growth that takes place that can never be stunted when you go out and you see the world. And this is from my group. We just went to Ghana over the winter break. So 5 years after studying abroad there as a student, I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to go back. And they went hiking, they went on a safari, and all these different things that they got to see. And Dre, tell you a quick story about him. Second day, his iPhone got stolen. The same night, his computer got stolen. All right? He ended up getting his computer back, but this is the best part. We got back. The one thing that he told me was like, Justin, even after all that happened, it was still the best money I ever spent. So that's the perspective that you gain when you go out there and you see the world. And then my quick story about China is that, I don't know if you noticed, but they don't have a lot of black people in China. So when I went to go visit my girlfriend, this is crazy. We went to the Great Wall of China. She was warning me, like, people are going to be looking at you. Listen, people are taking pictures of me. People want to take pictures with me. Ladies were handing me their baby so I could take a picture with their baby. It was all genuine. It was all cool and everything like that. But I was like, man, I feel like I'm a celebrity over here. You know what I mean? I don't get this trip back home, so I'll soak it in. So that was my 15 minutes of fame in Beijing, China, you guys. Thank you. All right, let's talk about social development. My belief too is that, listen, your greatest resource that you all have for your advancement going forward is people, is each other. What I mean by that is, all right, I'm 26 years old, but it doesn't mean that I can't learn something from someone who's like 15 or 16 years old, or someone who's like 64 years old. We all have experiences. We all have different things that we've gone through that we can all learn from and incorporate into our own experiences. So I really encourage you all to continue building relationships and networking with each other, because you never know going forward, who some of your friends are going to become, and how some of the relationships are going to kind of develop. So I learned a lot from a lot of my friends who are student leaders on campus. One of my friends, she is now a marketing director at Xerox. Another one of my friends, she is an executive assistant at MTV. She's worked on all the shows, the music awards, the movie awards, the reality TV shows. So like I said, you just never know what kind of superstars, I guess, can be in your inner circle. And the way that kind of plays out is that, is anyone from RIT? No, RIT knows. A speaker did a leadership event, and he had this great kind of a philosophy. He said people in your lives are like elevator buttons. They can either take you up, or they can take you down. So surround yourselves with up buttons. People who are going to have a positive influence on you. That's very important. Isn't that a cool graphic? You know what I mean? This also plays into your mentors and those relationships. Make sure that you're developing relationships with the faculty, staff, and alumni at your school. Because once upon a time, we were all a college student, we were all a college graduate. So you really can rely upon and pull from their advice and their insight, especially when it comes to maybe how to navigate through certain situations or how to navigate through the road coming up ahead in terms of like the post-graduation transition that you all will encounter. I was very fortunate. I had a lot of great mentors, from my wrestling coach to my advisor at my club, a lot of faculty members, even some of my coworkers. A lot of great people who have kind of planted different nuggets in me that I've been able to kind of carry going forward and have helped my career. And I've learned so much, and there's so much value to it. So I really encourage you guys, if you can, ask a mentor or someone who has an opinion or perspective that you value, ask them out to lunch. Because A, they would be more than willing to share with you their advice, but B, they know you guys are broke college students, so they're probably going to pay for your lunch too. Free advice and free lunch, it's a win-win for you, all right? Take advantage of that. That's what I do. They still pay for my lunch. I'm like, cool, I'll take it. All right, we're getting to the home run stretch here. You have to step outside your comfort zone. It's my belief that as college students, you guys have all kind of stepped outside your comfort zone a little bit, but you need to journey outside of your comfort zone. Because I have learned from my own experience, those have been the experiences that I've gained the most from, that I've learned the most from. Whether it was from becoming the president of a club, whether it was from taking a public speaking class, or even going to Africa. All those experiences contributed to my development, to my perspective, and it's something that, hasn't stunted my development at all. Are any of you from New York City? Excellent. What high school?
Cathedral High School.
Okay. And
NYC Museum.
okay. Let me ask you guys this. Anyone from Long Island? Long Island. Okay. Has coming upstate enhanced your perspective of what the life is like outside New York City?
Yeah.
Okay. And I always kind of use students from New York City as an example because I had a lot of my friends who were from New York City, and they kind of, like, when they got to see what life is like outside of New York City, they always tell me there's so many of their friends who, really don't get to see that or get to experience life much outside of New York City. Stepping outside your comfort zone is the same way. Once you step outside of it, that perspective that you're going to gain of yourself, of others, of the world, is truly something that was going to benefit you going forward. So I really kind of encourage you guys, step outside your comfort zone. College gives you all 4 years, and I'll be honest, in my case 5, who's counting? All right, 4 years to step outside your comfort zone, explore your interests, explore your passions, and really invest in your development. Because when you step outside your comfort zone, those are going to be the experiences that you will truly gain the most from. All right, just a little review here. In terms of the experiences, once again, the academic experiences that college provides you access with, make sure that you're taking classes that are going to help you to really enhance your professional skills and your marketability. For me, like I said, this was simply taking a class in public speaking. If you know your writing skills aren't well, taking up an advanced media writing class might be something to consider. So keep that in mind. Career building skills. All the opportunities that you guys are taking advantage of as student leaders are very important because it's helping you to build professional skills and experiences that you are going to be able to draw upon later down the road. So that's great for you guys to take advantage of that. Community service, you all have an interest, you all have a passion for something. You know, this is the time and this is the place to make it happen because you truly can make your vision a reality with all the resources that colleges provide you over. And enlightenment, you know, make sure that you are, you know, stepping outside your comfort zone, but becoming enlightened by, you know, the relationships that you develop by becoming more culturally and globally aware. Especially in today's work environment, there's such a value in that. Social development, just make sure you're networking and building relationships. I mean, you guys have probably all heard this. Who you know is just as important as what you know. So make sure you keep that in mind. And finally, self-development. Take advantage of opportunities that will put you outside your comfort zone because those are truly going to be the experiences that you'll gain the most from. Now, we have a little homework. Doesn't involve any math, doesn't involve any science. Is that all right? Okay, I'm not a fan of either. That's why I love this job. All it requires me is to talk. So, all right. Can you see that? Perfect. Develop a 1 to 3 year plan. A mentor of mine, Sophia So, gave me this as a kind of an advice or tip. Because start thinking about your own personal forecast. You know, where do you want to be a year, 2 years, 3 years from now? For some of you, maybe it's graduate school. Maybe for some of you, you want to have a certain amount of money in the bank or something like that. Start thinking about those things because at least it'll build you a foundation that you can work towards. It's nothing that has to be set in stone, but at least it gives you something to work towards. It's always something that you can adapt and you can kind of modify as you're going along, but it really helps to kind of give you a direction. Explore those different opportunities that we mentioned earlier. You know, taking classes and things that are going to benefit your professional skills. I mean, only 3 of you have studied abroad, so you might want to really consider studying abroad. And, you know, remember, you don't have to go for a whole semester. I did a 3-week program in Ghana that changed my entire life. So, you know, just taking advantage of something small and similar like that can really help you, your career, especially going forward. Create your own personal portfolio. Unfortunately, I didn't bring mine, but make sure that from all the activities that you guys do in class, outside of class, in your organization, you document it and you put it in a portfolio so that when you're going into an interview, you can go in there and you can actually show them, you know, a tangible piece of what you've done, whether it's creating a flyer, or maybe it was an event or activity you did, or maybe you have like a writing assignment that you did in one of your classes. That's how I went into my first interview in admissions, and they were really impressed by that, and so that's something that always kind of sticks with them, because I've interviewed a lot of people, not many people at all come in with a portfolio. So it's really something that can be an ace in your pocket when you're going into interviews. Determine who makes up your board of advisors. So start thinking about faculty, staff, alumni who have those perspectives, who have those opinions that you truly value. And make sure that you're keeping those relationships because going forward, many of you are going to be applying for jobs, graduate school. It's going to be important for you to have a reference or to have a letter of recommendation. And if you're building those relationships now, down the road you are going to have someone who will be willing to vouch for your character. And finally, you know, build your network. Take advantage of opportunities like you guys had not too long ago to go out there and mingle with people because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, you know, who you know is just as important as what you know in today's world. So with that said, unfortunately guys, I am all presentation out on this Saturday, okay? But I am willing to answer any questions any of you have. Feel free to take down my contact information if you have any questions, concerns. Other than that, you guys have been an awesome group. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Go Bills!
I got a question for
Sure.
you. How do you feel about like study abroad at like after college? Like, do you know of any opportunities that are out there for like graduate students?
There's two things. As a senior, you still can study abroad. You'll have to check with your financial aid office, but at Brockport, the way it works is that you would apply for graduation in August, so you could still graduate and walk the stage in May, and then you could do like a summer program and use your financial aid. So you can still get one in during the summertime. If you want to go as a grad student, you're equally as able to go. So there's really no restrictions. Students always wonder, what about my major? That's not a restriction because you can go whether you want to go take classes for your major or if you don't, you just want to take like gen eds or things like that. Any other questions? That's okay. You guys ready to get this raffle on? Oh, you want to get another one?
I was gonna say, where'd you go for high school wrestling?
Oh, I went to Lockport. Any Lockport Lions in here? Oh, there we go. What year did you graduate? What year did you graduate from
I was
Lockport?
2010.
Okay. Did you graduate in 2010?
Yeah.
Do you guys know each other?
I'm
Come
not
on,
sure.
brother Anthony? I went to the same high school. I mean, yeah, it's not a big school. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I just graduated from Lockport, stayed along the canal, went to Brockport, and I haven't left ever since. So that's kind of that was my story. It's very fortunate, but like I said, looking back on all of it, all the things that I took advantage of, from the studying abroad to the public speaking, all those things directly led to all my success that I've had since graduating. So, all right, you guys probably want to know what gifts we have today. All right, so for starters, to help you with networking, we have these lovely business card holders. Because you know, I expect all of you to be kind of collecting each other's business cards and things of that nature. So we have that. All right, so we're gonna be giving away those two. Then. Alright, since I know you guys are broke college students, right? We have Walmart gift cards as well. So we'll save the best for last. All right? We'll get rid of the business card holders first. Anthony, you're done here, but you can just